An unusual sound has echoed through the Laotian countryside for more than a year. This is the first high-speed train in Laos. The line, financed by China, has revolutionized travel in the tiny landlocked country.
Takes a lot. Way back then, we used to take a bus, take a day to get there. Now it's take about a couple hours. That's good, very good.
Laos was once one of the most isolated countries in the world. But today, the high-speed rail link means the capital, Vientiane, is just 4 hours from southern China. Here in Laos, it's proof that the Chinese economic miracle is spreading.
China is an example of development. They're famous for their business acumen. They have everything.
There was nothing here before the line was built. The train terminates here in the border town of Boten, a little piece of China in Laos. Here, people speak Chinese and pay in yuan. Even the clocks are set to Beijing time.
What was my first impression of Laos? Well, that it looked a lot like China 30 or 40 years ago.
These Chinese are not tourists, but investors. Their visit was organized by a Chinese company that plans to build a hospital in Boten. It's pulling out all the stops to persuade them to invest in the project.
The hospital will officially open soon. Currently, 90 million yen has already been invested here.
This businessman wants to launch a brand of mineral water in Laos, but he has doubts about the economic potential of Laos, the poorest country in Southeast Asia.
After crossing the border, we saw many signs written in Chinese. It's like we were at home. I feel like the whole world is becoming more Chinese. It makes me feel proud.
Boten is home to just 2,000 people, but the population is expected to surge to more than 300,000 in the coming years. But not everyone is happy about China's growing influence here.
I'm not very happy. What the Chinese build belongs to them. It's no longer ours. Now it's like it's their land.
Boten is managed by Chinese authorities as a special economic zone. The official goal is to create jobs for local people. But promises of economic development are not always kept.
I haven't been paid for a year now. We finished our work, but there's still no salary in sight.
The mirage of Chinese development is most obvious at night, when the streets are full of sex workers, mostly women from the poorest rural regions of Laos. We were able to meet one of the women, whom we filmed with a hidden camera.
One day, we complained to the police because a Chinese client had drunk too much and was hitting us. The police told us, if you want help, you have to pay us.
In Boten, China reigns supreme. Beijing is making its presence felt elsewhere in Laos through massive lending schemes. This high-speed train reportedly cost $6 billion. That's a staggering amount in Laotian terms, and the entire sum was borrowed from China. Now, almost half of the country's debt is controlled by Chinese banks. This economic dependency is reflected in a new trend, learning Mandarin.
When the high-speed train opened, many Chinese came to Laos for tourism, business, and even to invest in the country. Since then, Laotians want better jobs,
and better salaries.
This Chinese language school opened in 2016 and now has 400 Laotian students. These high school students attend evening classes, hoping for a better life in China.
It's a really difficult language, but I'll persevere, because speaking Chinese will allow me to have a better future.
The students learn not only Mandarin, but also Chinese history, a curriculum their teacher takes very seriously.
I teach them Chinese culture. It's a real honor, a real source of pride to spread it in Laos and to foster exchanges between our two countries.
Connecting China to the rest of the world is the ultimate goal of President Xi Jinping's flagship Belt and Road Initiative, launched in 2013. Laos is just one part of that mission. Chinese infrastructure projects are multiplying all over the region. In this part of Asia, it seems that all roads lead to Beijing.